Hello, sorry. You there?
Yep.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. You?
I'm good. Okay, so tell me what you want to get out of this session. You can figure out how you want to do it.
I think like mainly kind of like the proper decisions on like patience when you should be holding on defense rather than pushing, because like I think it's kind of something I'm really bad on, just autopiloting on a push,
Mm-hmm.
and just like not having a actual game plan for the thing, just like
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
So how about we go into one of the two maps you mentioned earlier? Might be able to do a third, depending on how in-depth we go, but you gonna start with bind or ascent?
um I'd say fine.
Okay, so defense?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just kind of go around. We could start a V, and you can just kind of ask me questions.
Okay.
Chamber, okay, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I know you said a little something about like peeking. I know we talked a little about like using TPs. We can talk about that because that is extremely important as chamber. What's your rank, by the way, currently?
Diamond 1.
What were you when I first coached you?
At the beginning of that.
Okay, cool.
If you die today, I will remember you forever. It has been an honor.
Anything else you wanna like mention or ask before you start?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about a few things to ask about earlier. I'd say kind of as chamber, like my role that I should be like, what my game plan on attack should be, I guess. Like, how I should be utilizing my TPs to help take side and stuff. That would be nice.
Okay, on attack.
Yeah.
Okay, let's excuse me. Let's start with defense. Okay, so let's say we start in hookah, right? Where do you
Yeah.
defend? Like, how do you play defense? Just tell me that first. Yeah, just know that.
Defense
Yeah.
as chamber, what I've been doing is, so I'll maybe
On this site
set, like,
specifically.
oh, okay. So, you see like kind of on top of, you see the box next to gun.
Here.
The one further to the left. Kind of sad thing, but you,
Like, give me like the general area. Sorry.
like to your right, and then you know the
Over here?
one, yeah, that, yeah.
Okay.
I'll set a TP there, and then
And
I'd
then-
probably just peek through garden, yeah, and then I'd just like
Okay, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. So let's understand like, because like the TP component of what we're gonna be talking about today is really important. So there's two TPs, right? That means you can change either one of them a little bit. This one's gonna be generally kind of the same. Main thing I want to point out here is that this TP can be put like pretty much wherever you want. So do you usually put the TP up here?
yeah, or like maybe on top of kind of gen there, a tube.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Tube, yeah.
Yeah. So like this is good. It's gonna be predictable if you do these spots like consistently.
Yeah.
So you have to think like where's a really good place to TP, and again, you don't want to just do the same one, because if you do the same one, you're not being reactive to, you know, the enemy team. So if you're playing against a team that you know is gonna be like running it down long, so you go for a kill TP, this might not be the best place to TP, because what if they come in? What if they're already out like hookah or something? You know, you might want to be
Yeah.
like in tube or backside or something, or maybe even like elbow or spawn or something, right? So those are your options, really.
That's kind of like what I do. I kind of get my team. I'm usually duos on. I just get them to play off hookah, so I know I'm safe from there.
Yeah. And another, this might be weird. I don't know. You could do something like this, honestly. Like,
That's not ready.
and just go for a peek like this way, and then you're just kind of committing to play garden, right? That's kind of weird, but I like how you peek this though, because this is exactly what you want to be doing. Again, I feel like playing on defense as chamber with the TPs is much easier. It's kind of like intuitive, right? Like you put a TP farther back, you want to play forward, you know the chamber's good aggressive, so you just kind of go for it. You usually get kills whenever you do something like this.
Yeah, I'd say I get a good amount of kills whenever they peek long, but sometimes, obviously I just whiff. And
Yeah, okay.
I'd say a big problem with the TPs I have is I'm not reactive enough with them. Like, I'll get swung, and then I won't know whether it's a good choice to just try and commit to a fight and TP, or just TP straight away. I don't know if that's something I should be doing.
Yeah, it's just like, if you know that there's going to be more behind the person that's side swinging, then probably TP. But go for a shot. Like, if you're just one person, just go for the kill. That's what chamber's all about. because you really want to get the kill before you TP. If it's just like too dangerous or there's more than one person or something like that, then don't go for it. So tell me, is that the main thing you do here? Do you do anything else on B site? Or is that like your go-to, typically?
Yeah, I'd say that's like what my
Like the majority of rounds you'll do that?
I'll also you see like kind of at the very back of hookah, there's like an elevated box.
Yeah, this is my favorite spot ever.
Yeah, I'd do that, and then I'll maybe TP into tube.
Okay. I like this a
Yeah.
lot. This is really good. This is really good as like Jet Arena as well. Okay, good. So, like, maybe give me a percentage. How much do you play this long kind of play versus playing that hookah play? Like, how much do you play long?
6%, I'd say almost constantly. If I have an ARP, I'd play along with garden,
Okay.
and then
Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
Okay. So, basically what I'm trying to mention here is like there's more you can do on defense, and I'm sure I don't know if we talked about this last time, but there's more you can do. So I really like to go. You could do this. Like I don't know where you put your TP here. Probably like backside or tube. Either one's probably fine. Yeah. Still reach. So this probably isn't that common, which is exactly why I think this would actually be good. You can put this down even maybe before the round starts because you can kind of see you can still kind of come out to here. And then you know. You basically just go for a peek because it's kind of unexpected. Maybe not straight away because it's kind of expected. Like people might be, you know, looking here. But if you hear them, for example, running up, then this is going to be like the least expected time for them to really think you're peeking, right? You go for kill one, and then you're just out. Like, so you could do this anywhere, right? Like we're going to talk about this on A as well. You can do this here. You can do this here. You can do it long. So again, if you're opping, do you play long mostly?
Yeah, I play long, and also like you know, kind of on top of truck. I like to play on top of truck there.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because this is what I was gonna ask. Pretty much, it's actually really hard to go wrong with opping on this map. You can basically op anywhere. I'd say the worst place to op is probably B short. It's like right here. This is kind of dangerous. I don't think it's bad. I think this angle is really good. Right here. Like if you want to hold this for some reason. This is really good. Of course, it's basically the best place to op, in my opinion. You can op here, and you can op shower. So make sure that you're swapping around because again, your TPs are good everywhere. So I would highly recommend kind of getting into the mindset, especially when you have your ult or whenever you just have an op available. Try to like swap it around, and then use your TPs. Think how you can use your TPs in different ways. How can I like TP out of here into a different spot? Like touch TP up here, TP back triple. Should I TP in U-Haul? You know, yeah, up here on truck is also good. But yeah, so the way I like to think of chamber or as Jet and Reyna, is like this is like the front line of defense here. So this is like really aggressive. You don't see many players going for this. But if you do have a TP, it's really good. But let's say we peek, get a kill, and maybe we just come back. Then we could hold from this angle, right? And this angle is really strong. So this is like the second line of defense. And then third line of defense would be like back here and then farther back, right? So a lot of people, you know, that are kind of more scared or not as good at taking fights, they'll like automatically start back here. And as chamber, that's just not what you want to do. So you probably, it seems like you have a pretty good grasp of this because you're kind of using your TP up here, you know, playing up like this a little bit maybe. So this is good. You want to be playing up in these areas when you can, especially with your TP. And then once you TP out, you can kind of choose what to do from there. Again, try to be kind of reactive about it. Don't just like do the same thing all the time. Okay. So do you have like any other questions about B? Do you want to talk about op or like trip or anything? Or
yeah, good point about the trip. Where would you put a trip mainly on defense on B?
Good question, right? So I'm gonna think about this for a second. So attack, it's kind of a little more obvious. Oh, do you ever use this TP by the way, where you go from like here to here?
Yeah.
I would recommend that, especially if we're talking about like a trip. You can put a trip like here for your team or somewhere in shower, and then just TP straight back before the round starts. Probably it'd have to be here, but that's one way you could use a trip. I would, again, it's gonna have to be a little reactive. So a good trip for hookah is just in here. It kind of depends where your teammate's playing. Do you even have a teammate playing B, right? If you have no teammate, then obviously wherever you're defending, you're gonna want to be putting the trip in the other area. So if you're defending long, put a trip here. If you're defending hookah, then put a trip. I think right here is really good because like this is gonna see them sooner than this one, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty good too, though. Someone said, "What rank is the client?" He's Diamond 1. But Does that make sense? I mean, it's really nothing crazy about the trips. Like, just I've seen people put them here. Make sure they're just kind of, if we're talking like the front line of defense, make sure they're a bit farther forward so you have that information sooner rather than later. Because like if you put a trip on site or something, like sure that might hit them and slow them, but by the time that activates, they're gonna already have the spike almost down. So
Yeah, I get it.
put a trip here.
Here.
I think this one,
Here.
and this one are probably the best. So anything, because these are just the closest before the run starts anyway. Or yeah, you can put that one as the run starts, I guess. So okay, so anything else? You have a question about opping?
Yeah, like kind of with chambers op, I'd say I'm really consistent on it. I'd say I can like always kind of 2 people peek me. I can probably kill both of them and stuff like that.
Okay.
Kind of playing around with TPs with it. Then I find a normal operator is really hard to play with. I'm like really rubbish with it.
Okay, so let's think about the differences. There's not really that many differences. So you think it might be like a mental thing?
Yeah, I think it would definitely be that.
Okay, maybe get yourself a new skin or something.
Yeah.
So the big difference to me is, well, one, the pullout time, but also the speed at which you can shoot, right? So
Yeah, I was about to say that. I think I really punished myself. I don't think that this shot needs a hit or I'm dead.
yeah, I think reframing how you view opping could really help. So like what I'm thinking is, instead of trying to get like fancy with the op and trying to get multiple kills, really just focus on getting the first kill. Like that's all you need to do, especially if you have
Just
a TP down.
Just playing for player advantage.
Yeah, exactly. Like get a kill, it's hard to go wrong. You can peek like, so like again, we're talking about, again, like I said, lines of defense, right? Like so you go for a kill here, maybe you have a TP, maybe you even have the TP like just back here somewhere safe or something, or not that far, I mean. So you peek, you get a kill, and then now they think you TP back to site, but really you're right here, and it's just a free second kill, right? Because whenever chamber TP's away, they think, oh, he's probably really far away or something, and they might just keep running into you, or they might just leave because you're actually in a bit of a higher rank. So, but this is what I mean, like get a kill and come back. It's not that you need to like give up and go hide and spawn or something, or back here. It's just like getting a kill here, and by the way, right, you can do that with either gun, because it's the same thing. It's the same gun, it's just a little, the chamber's op is just a little buffed. So really just focus on getting the first kill, and then don't get greedy. Once you get the kill, don't keep re-peeking, because what if 3 people are holding you? They saw where you peeked before, they're gonna have their crosshair placed where your head was. You're gonna get, there's a good chance, even though you have a strong weapon, there's a good chance you just get one tapped. And then hold this angle, right? Get a kill, come back again. You have your sheriff if you need to get out of here. You might even have a TP to get out or something. You might have a teammate, you might have a smoke here, So if you can get 2 kills like that, or for example, if we want to talk about fighting here, again, another way to use a TP, you can put a TP over here. Or Cubby's really good, right? Because that's, in my opinion, a really good place to opt from, especially if you have like teammates you can trust. So you get a kill here. This is the second line of defense, right? Because this is pretty solid, right? Like if you think about it. I mean, there's probably other angles you could hold, maybe from elbow to hold here. That would be like the alternative. But farther back might be here. This is also pretty good, holding like this if you can hit the upper body, because it's kind of hard to see them.
I usually don't like playing Cubby because I don't know. I find like usually like more than one person swings me, and then I guess you can tuck into the corner of Cubby, but I just kind of find it really hard to like leave this area and actually take another fight and help.
Let's think about this. I don't know. You know what the TP's cooldown is?
I think it's 30 seconds and 40 if someone breaks it.
Okay, so we get a kill. We TP. We grab the TP. Then we have what, 20-30 seconds or something.
Yeah.
So if you can live for that long, then right, you can put your TP like this, and then or if you feel like they're really getting rolled and you don't really want to peek long for some reason, for whatever reason, you could just start here and put the TP wherever you want, like literally wherever you want. Elbow here, Swan, and then you can just, because this is really good. I see high ranked players opt from here pretty frequently, which tells me this is probably a pretty good spot to opt from. But yeah, these should just start like opening up your mind to different kind of plays or TPs that you can actually do. So I know you want to talk about attack. Should we go to defense on A first, or do you have any questions here?
No, I'm pretty happy with that.
Okay, so we got 25% of the map down. Okay, so we'll just talk about trips real quick. If we're actually playing here, again, this TP is really good. You put a TP here and over there. I would recommend using that a little more. So I see people trip here and here. But if you are just starting here, like, why not throw a trip like this? Because again, front line of defense, right? Like, if this can see them sooner and you get information sooner, that's better than being back here a few seconds later. Because again, if this activates, it's gonna be a bit later. So, and you could do the same thing. You put a trip in cubby, or you put a trip here. I see both. I think this is actually really good. Right here, somewhere, because like whenever they run out, gets almost always slows them the first few times. Okay, so what do you want to talk about here? Tell me what you do normally.
Yeah, so I'd definitely just start by on a pistol round. I would definitely just play on top of truck, you know.
Yeah, you buy shirt. Wait, what's your bias again? Sorry.
Pistol 5 bullets is the max buy you can buy since it's 150 per now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then we play up here, go for a kill. We have TP. Where do we have TPs?
Yeah, I usually TP back in heaven, or if I like kind of want to repeat, I'll like put it behind triple or something like that.
Okay, I would actually argue that heaven's kind of trash to go to. Mainly just because we really want to help defend the site. The only scenario where TPing heaven would be good is if you have like 4 people on B, because then you could just play retake. But if you have a teammate here somewhere, you want to help them. So TP up here before the run starts so you can TP again. I would recommend putting TP. Triple's good. Back truck is good if you want to TP there. I think U-Haul's probably best though, like this or something. Right. So go for a kill. If you miss, whatever, it's fine. You can also, I see Chambers I've coached before try to get greedy. Like I think you talked about this with the op a little bit. Like how long should you fight for? Just don't be too greedy, right? Like you could take 2 or 3 shots, but by the time like you take the second or third shot, like if you're fighting one person, there's gonna be more people swinging. So
yeah,
like go for a kill, and then so like now think about the difference between being here and being in like heaven, right? Because this is so much more like I would rather be here 10 out of 10 times than be up here, unless you're maybe unless you're upping. Yeah, probably if you're upping, but you still have sheriff, right? Like this is just so good. Like you don't even need to peek this. You can just hold right here. Think about it. Like whenever you have to plant here, it's so scary to know that someone could be in U-Haul because like your team hasn't really cleared it out or something. You're trying to plant. Like this is just really strong. You can even take the TP back, do something fancy with it. I don't know what you're gonna do with it, but I like this better. You can also, like we said, TP just down if you want, or TP back here. TP probably triple would be better because you can just jump off at that point. You can TP up here. They're probably gonna hear that though. Again, you can't TP up here, but try not to do that too much. I feel like that's kind of putting yourself in just like a too passive of a spot, especially as a chamber. So that's interesting now. Okay. So this spot's good. Also up here is good because like it's just the same thing, but it's different. So it might seem like you're kind of more out in the open, but that's fine. Just pick a side to hold, go for a kill, and then TP out. Same thing, like except they're again not really gonna expect it as much.
Yeah, that's actually something I struggle with. That's why I don't play this double box thing. It's because like I don't know if I should be holding the right or left, or should I just take like a 50-50 and if they swing the other side TP, that's what I should be doing.
50-50, but think about it. Whenever someone's 2 things here. When people push A short, they're gonna come from this side, like like most of them are gonna come from that side. Maybe one person will be on the left, and maybe you'll get screwed over. But also another thing, if they're peeking, if you're holding right here and they're right here, are they gonna be looking? Do you peek A short looking like this?
No.
No, so
they still don't have time to react because they're gonna be adjusting.
Yeah, you could still like, especially if your aim's good, if you have a good flick, right? But if you feel like you're in threat, you can just TP. Again, don't get greedy, even if it means not getting a kill. Just get out, because then at least your team's not down in numbers instead of taking a really risky fight and potentially losing it. But again, I would just place it on the right. Have a good headshot. You can sit on the left or on the right here. Just hold this and then TP out. If you notice that the team is pushing on the left a lot, because some teams do, interestingly, but I find that the vast majority of people will come to the side for whatever reason. I don't know why, but yeah, so that's that. Shower. Okay, so let's talk about playing a little more aggressive. You ever play aggressive?
Yeah, I'd say that's a problem. I do play too aggressive sometimes. Especially I'd say on Bind, I'm actually quite good on it, but something like Ascent, I'll just be constantly swinging. Both the sides. Yeah.
Okay, so how do we play aggressive here though? Like on A.
I guess it would be just like I don't know, put a TP down as soon as the walls drop and just swing one of the shorts.
Okay, I mean this is good. That's what I was gonna tell you to do. So we have to do something that we call limit testing. And that's like basically figuring out early on in the game what you can get away with. Like, so if you put a TP here, and then you put a TP here, can they hear that, by the way? Like,
I'm actually not sure.
like, so maybe you, I don't know. Maybe, actually you don't need to do that. You can just put this here, and then, I don't know what I'm doing. You just put this like back triple or back truck or something. Or U-haul like you said. And then just come up here and just, again, like just have big balls, go for a kill. If you get a kill, like now you know what you're capable of getting away with, right? Like this spot is so good. You can even come up here. I used to do this a lot. This is really strong. Again, you just have to have the confidence, and it sounds like you do. But what happens if you do this and it doesn't work, right? That's when you want to kind of like start reevaluating, like, should I be doing this? I probably shouldn't be playing aggressive. And if I do want to play aggressive, maybe I should go somewhere else and try it. I would give yourself like 2 chances here, right? Because I mean, like Chamber has the potential to do this. Like, this is completely fair for Chamber because it's just broken, right? You go for a kill, you wait for someone to peek. Also, when someone's peeking this, they're probably not looking like right here. They're probably not expecting you to be here at least the first time. They're probably just gonna swing like this. So you have a slight advantage doing that as well, just because it's so like ballsy to do this. But again, it's safe because you have the broken TP. So you could do that again. I would suggest trying that. You can do that long. It sounds like you do that. You can peek out of here. Again, this is a little bit more dangerous. And also you can do that in shower. So maybe back triple for this one.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever played shower when I'm playing mine.
Like ever or just for TPs?
Like ever.
Okay. Okay, good. So not good, but it's good because now I can teach you to do that. So
Yeah.
like opping here is really good. Okay, because some games people will never come showers, but oftentimes people really like to peek and push showers, and people are gonna be like, oh, Chamber's opping long, don't go long, let's go, hey guys, okay, I'll go showers. And then you come showers and then just kill them, and then they'll know what to do, and the game's over because, oh my god, the op's so broken, and then they start crying. So you could put TP over here if you want, or you can just put it right here. But again, it's the same thing, right? You're trying to get a sense as to how the TP like feels. Just again, remember the second TP back here can go wherever you want, and going heaven's probably not the best thing, unless you really want to do that because you want to play retake or something. But
yeah,
you can hold here, or you can kind of start. I like to slowly start kind of inching out. I really like to hold this angle right here. I don't know if this is like the best angle to hold or anything, but I feel like this is really good because again, people aren't gonna really expect this. I'm actually in the range of the TP, so keep that in mind if you're gonna do that. But also just like you don't need to have an op. You know, you can put a TP here and just kind of walk up and wait for a kill, right? If you have a Vandal, you could take a deeper fight and then just TP out once you get it. But again, take advantage of the full map. Don't just limit yourself to these. You know, play everything, play absolutely everything, and learn how TPs play or how your TP should be used in each spot separately. But also, you know, make sure to remember using your trips. But again, I think playing aggressively is completely fine, or completely good as Chamber. Just allow yourself to limit test earlier in the games to get a sense as to how these enemies play. Is playing aggressive really the best thing for me to do? And if it is, then okay, how can I keep taking advantage of this playstyle?
And you know if sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all. You got it.
Alright. So you know, like, say I play aggressive and I just keep getting stomped from it. It's like something I kind of struggle with. I don't know when I should be like holding an angle. I don't know if I should just be constantly holding until someone peeks into me. Especially with an off or something. I don't know. Like, if I'm not playing aggressive, I kind of don't know.
So like, if you're not playing, like, so if we're not playing up here, we're playing back behind this. Okay.
I kind of struggle like with I guess patience of like people pushing to me instead of me pushing into them and pushing into 3 people.
So again, as Chamber, this TP could be really good for this, by the way, because what I'm thinking, the main thing I'm thinking whenever you say this is like, okay, are the enemies actually where you're holding, right? Because if you're here, you're like, oh, I need to be playing A, but the enemies are actually like rotating and you're not thinking about that, right? That's gonna be like, that's gonna make me impatient too, because like I need to know where they're going. Like, okay, guys, on B, are they there? Or you guys hear them coming B? But if we know that, if we heard them stopping around A and we still hear them, like we just heard them like 5 or 10 seconds ago, it's a pretty good bet they're gonna come A, right? Unless again, you get a sense pretty early in the game that this enemy team is gonna be your team that rotates quite frequently. Then you might want to be like, okay, maybe I'll reposition. But that's where this TP can come in handy, or you can just rotate if you just want to like not use the TP because you don't have it or whatever. But holding angles is really good. It's one of the best skills to learn early on. It's one of the best skills. It's one of the best skills I noticed in higher ranks. Like, people will just get really good at holding angles patience is definitely a part of that. Crosshair placement is definitely a part of that. But also just knowing like when to hold something, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any like you want to like talk a little more in depth about this, or does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, I'd say it's made a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because like they're gonna come to you on defense. They're attacking. So the main thing that I'm thinking is like make sure that you're not waiting somewhere where the enemies are like leaving, right?
Yeah.
Because then yeah, like then I'm gonna be impatient as well. Like I'm right there with you. Okay, should we go to attack? Anything else about A?
Yeah. No, I'd say I'm quite happy
Main
with that.
takeaway, just make sure you're defending from especially shower, and it sounds like maybe hookah a little more, but especially shower. And limit test early on. What does limit testing mean?
When you kind of see if you can get away with aggressive plays early on
Yeah, exactly.
and adjust through that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like, and then if your teammate, like usually people don't get mad if you try to go aggressive early on as well on your team and it doesn't work, like, because at least you tried. And then you have to kind of adapt, and then that's where you might go to like hold angles after that doesn't work. Or
Yeah.
kind of like swap it up a little bit. We're talking about like the front line of defense being up here, then you might come back here. Or up here, then we might come back, you play this angle right here. Really nice angle. Okay, so let's start B. Where do you go typically? Long, hookah?
I'd say short all the time. I don't like pushing through hookah because I don't know. I feel like if I don't have like kind of people who aren't flashing in, it's just really hard.
You said short?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like here?
Yeah.
Okay. You mean long? You said short. You don't like to go.
Yeah.
hookah?
Yeah. Sorry, long.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. Long.
Okay. So how do we play this? Like we'll just kind of walk up. Where you put your trip?
In between like the right to where you are. Yeah.
Here? Okay, good. So here. Okay, I'll just show you how I would do this. So again, we're gonna talk about every part of the map. So again, the fact that you don't go long is a problem because long is a bit of a playground for chamber, but not just because you're a chamber player, but because you're a player in the game. Like a well-rounded player is gonna know how to attack from each area. If you think about it, if you only know how to attack 2 of the areas on the whole map, that's a big disadvantage. Because what if the spike drops here, or what if we just need to go here for some reason, and we're just not really well versed there. So the way that I would do this, I like to walk up kind of on the left, just in case like there's a Phoenix flash or there's a Sky flash, and like, oh, I'm gonna triple swing, and then you gotta hide, right? But if you're on this side, then that's kind of bad.
Yeah, you can just out in the open, yeah.
So would you put a TP down yet? I'm curious.
Yeah, I would say I put it just right before my team is about to enter hookah.
Right here.
Yeah, so like that.
Okay. I'm not gonna say that's wrong. Like I think it's good to kind of maybe you can be kind of aggressive on the first few rounds attacking, or you can be a little more defensive, just depending on how you think the enemies are gonna play. So then we clear hookah, clear here, kind of just clear all the different angles. And then so now I'm thinking, the problem with this TP is you see actually this is pretty good. We just can't put it over here, right? Do you see what I'm saying though? Like there might be some maps where you put a TP kind of farther back, and then you can't, like you put it so far back that you can't, you kind of limit your options here.
Yeah.
Whereas
Playing off TPs on attack, I think like a problem I have is I'll kind of, I'll get in the mindset of instead of just like adapting and put my TPs down as we push in, I'll kind of, we take, for example, hookah, I'll stick a TP in hookah and never move from it in attack,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where would we put our second TP here?
In hookah, I'd put it like anywhere around that I can, hold, I can hold holes with.
Okay, I think this might be a little, not bad, but I feel like this might, if you always do this, I feel like this might be kind of bad. So here, maybe, or maybe like here, up here, would you say mostly, would you put it?
Yeah.
Because this could be spammed too. I don't know, I don't think people are ever going to shoot it, to be honest, but like this is fine, but how often, like, I don't know, I feel like this is kind of like, it's good to go for a kill, but one, if someone doesn't peek you, it's kind of bad, but also, what if your team's just like running out and then like you need to go help them and then you don't have your TPs, right? Because like you have to be here.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I just don't know like when is the best time to utilize my second TP on attack.
I would say your first TP should go like somewhere in hookah, maybe like this or here or somewhere. And then like just try to entry with your team. Like ask your team like, okay, are we going in? Because you don't really need your TP on attack until you're like pretty sure that you're going in. Because like we can just hold this. Like we don't really need TP. Like if we want to leave, we can just run away. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Because like the TP is gonna be useful again. Like, because like think about it. You want to get to defense. You want to get to a point where the spike goes down. Whereas like if you're because if you have a TP down here, now we're again at like this front line of defense, aren't we? Because like now we're defending, and now this is like literally the front line of defense unless you're gonna peek like a psycho, which might be fine with a TP honestly, if you're feeling your aim. But here we just hold, we go for a kill somewhere here, and now right now we're chilling because we got a kill, we have numbers advantage. You can even grab your TP back. But if you put your TP out there and then here, like it's just not as good. But you can also put this for like long, right? Like, where would you put it if you're going long? Like, you probably go long, like, at least a little bit, right?
Yeah. If I was going long,
yeah,
I'll probably just place one down right next to this wall here.
Right here?
Yeah.
I knew you were gonna do this. Okay. Yeah, this is like the same thing. This is like the same thing as here. So, I think your first TP goes down a little bit too soon. So, unless we really expect someone to peek this, then we can put a TP, like, here and here or something, just so we have, like, a get-out-of-jail-free card. But a lot of the time, no one's gonna be peeking long, so, like, I want to get up to here. Like again, I want these aggressive TPs that I can play around, right? So I can like peek aggressive, go for a kill, get numbers advantage. So I'm really on my first TP like right here. Again, if you might even put a TP down here somewhere so you can just have that. But if you feel like you can just get away with this, you don't need to put a TP. You can put a TP here if you really want. If you want to just like peek with safety here, you can do that. But also, if your team's running out hookah, or like it's just a game where you feel like it's kind of easy to take sight, then try to do this because this is the best thing to do. Try to save your TP until you really need it. Basically, is what I'm telling you. Because this is fine, but basically it could be better.
Yeah.
And like this is fine. This is fine too. But try to play more farther forward with chamber as a chamber player. And again, you could put one here, play around like this, or put one like here somewhere and have a TP like back in garden, just fight like this, or even slightly peek here. My TP. Okay, any question about attack here?
Yeah, I guess I'd say a problem I have sometimes is I'm I'm getting into sight, and then say, I don't know, we get unfortunate, I do this, like, get picked off and we can't really have a guaranteed entry. I'd say I'm not sufficient at all at like trying to get into sight, without the util of everyone else. I'm just gonna fall apart when it's like in a clutch.
Okay, so a couple of things. So how long is it between when your duelists die and you try to go in?
I'd say, say example like a jet dashing in. I'd say as soon as jet dashes, I try and just, like I said before, I usually have a problem with just holding in hookah, but if I was pushing, I'll just go in straight my jet dashes.
Okay, that's good. So where's the problem? Like you feel like you don't have util from your team?
Yeah, I'd say like, jet dies and then, we kind of
like where would you be at that point? Like you'd be on site probably?
Yeah, I'll be definitely holding holes with tube.
Okay. So this is where comms can be really useful because like say for some reason your duelists are dead before you go in, then we don't need to go to the site because actually it's going to be bad because the enemy by the time your duelists are dead and you're not actually in, your team's not actually in, your duelists are just a little quick that run for whatever reason, they're getting a little antsy. This is where you want to ask like, can we rotate? Let's rotate. There's going to be people coming here. You really have to emphasize that over and over and over until your team gets it. However, if we're already on site, like this is probably where you don't have your TPs, right? Because like you said, your TPs are probably up here, so you're very limited. If you haven't noticed, Chamber's strongest abilities are his TPs, in my opinion, and then his op. So if you're not taking advantage of the TPs, then no wonder you can't really do much here. You can probably get a few kills, but really, of course, try to get your team to get in as well. Get them to plant the spike. Try to spread out evenly, so don't have everyone clumped right here. If your team's planting, you maybe go elbow. Again, you could have a TP here. You could have a TP long. You could have a TP up there. You could have a TP back here. But if you don't have those TPs, I mean, that's fine, but you're at a disadvantage, right? Like it's gonna be harder for you to get a kill safely without getting traded, or without. It's gonna also not give you as much confidence, to be honest. But try to play with confidence. Try to think, where can I play here? If you play in tube a lot, that's fine, but you could play here. You could play garden. You could play hookah. I don't usually play garden or hookah that much, unless maybe you're upping. I really like playing elbow though. Do you ever play here?
Yeah, I play.
I really like this. I would just chill like this though, and just kind of wait.
Yeah, I usually just kind of expose myself a bit more and wait for someone to peek in. Like that, yeah.
And again, you have TP.
All set up.
If you do have TP. So, bang. Oh, he's elbow, but actually he's not anymore.
Yeah.
TP can go in like a few places. Typically hookah or just longer garden. But does that make sense? Any other questions about that?
Oh no, yeah, quite well.
Okay. Let's go to B or A to A real quick. Then we want to go to Ascent.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do we? I'm guessing we're probably gonna typically go short here because you said you don't really defend shower that much.
Yeah, same goes with entering shower. I kind of just forget about that whole area in the map.
Yeah, don't forget about it. Right.
Yeah.
That's probably why you said. Is this your harder map or?
This is my worst map. Yeah.
Yeah. So this map is gonna be a playground for you once you kind of get a feel for it. I actually think that would be the case, but on any map, like if you're just avoiding a map without really thinking about it or realizing it, purposely go there. Like purposely go there so that you're just forcing yourself into learning it basically, right? And then you'll be like, oh, this is actually good, because honestly, a lot of people avoid showers. It's kind of hard to push out. Like you see, this is the area that you have to push out of. But if your team's making noise short, you can also just peek here, get a kill. And you can put early TPs, so you can do this if you really want. And then peek like this. Again, I wouldn't recommend doing this unless you think someone's really going to be peeking and you think you need the extra insurance. But typically try to save a TP to come up here. So I would just walk up. If we're talking about shower, you can either kind of just like wide swing like this, and then a lot of times be someone like right here somewhere. You don't have to do that as well though. What I like to do a lot is just kind of walk up. And this way you don't have to clear the right. But I would just slowly clear this. Make sure you clear the left. And just come up. Again, be on the same page with your team. Ask them what they're doing. Figure out what the plan is. If we want to go A short, clear this. They could be in the doorway. And they could also be to the left. I know I like to play right here whenever I'm playing shower. And then you might also be careful of this spot. So, yeah. But then you're up. At this point now, this is probably where things get a little tricky for you, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So there's a lot of angles. You have to slice the pie. So you got here. You never know where someone. I feel like the most common spots are gonna be like right here. You also go clear right here in between this area, triple, right, and then heaven, and then backside, and then close. But if you can clear, if you're clearing like this, and there's just nobody looking at you, then this is where you're gonna be like, yo team, let's go A, right? Like let's go A. Honestly, if your team's B, you could probably just walk out here, right? But it's just a matter of actually trying to do this. And not being like too scared to do this, because then you could be like, yo guys, I'm up A. You flank the guy and you hold, kill him, ask your team to rotate to A with good comms or TP. Get pushed up. Okay, so whenever you push up, where do we go on A site? Like let's just say we have A site control, what do we do?
I'd probably play around bomb, hold heaven mainly.
Okay, I think that's kind of bad. Not super bad, but I think we could be doing better. So again, where is your first TP gonna go? Probably either U-haul, short, or shower, right? So that's where you're going to be TPing back to. The second TP, I would highly recommend playing. So let's talk about all the good spots. So this is a pretty good spot here, really good. I wouldn't play in the corner just because it's kind of predictable. This is the best spot in U-haul. I genuinely believe this. I feel like people just do not check this, and I swear if you do this in your games, people are not going to clear you. So really just play this spot, and I'm kidding. It's going to be so many free kills until you do it for the first few times anyway. But also, you can play here. This is a little more expected. But this spot, like, if you think about it, whenever you come into hookah, it's just, like, you really just don't think about it. Like, you're just kind of like this. And then, yeah. So, but
I think that's like I think that's kind of like another problem I have with, when it goes to, like, post-plan. I think I kind of overextend myself too much, and then it's kind of hard to play around my TPs because of that. And I'm, like, kind of not in the mindset of, you know, instead of holding down an area, because people are gonna have to push into us again.
Yeah.
I'm kind of just pushing in.
I think that's more of a problem of like not having your TPs in the right spot, right? Because we're talking about back here, Your TPs are here. Where are your TPs here? You probably put one here or here, right?
Yeah, I think I usually put one in cubby, to be honest.
Like here and then cubby, or
Yeah, no, like cubby, and then wherever I'm gonna peek next, you know.
okay, yeah. Just make sure,
Yeah.
like, make sure you're thinking ahead. Like, if your TP's here, but you want to push like farther forward, then don't put your TP down yet, because that's what you really want. Like, even if they hear it, it doesn't matter. Like, they know. By the way, this is what I was gonna tell you next, right? This is where you really want. Let's go put this actually. So you put it in cubby. That's fine. This is considered short. You can put it in U-hole too if you feel like your team's got you. These are my favorite spots on this map to push up to. Right here and right here. So you can have your TP however you like here. Kind of hold like this. And it's just free, right? Like, as long as you have a TP, right? If you don't have your TP, it's going to be a bit harder to do this and get away with it. But like, you get a kill here, it's not expected, at least for the first time. And then you're just out. Playing here and always trying to kind of like hold heaven is just kind of, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like this could go wrong a lot as well. But yeah, do you ever play up here like this?
Yeah, I'd say if I'm like feeling myself in that match, I'd definitely push up, trying to get picks from people rotating.
Yeah, I would highly recommend playing in U-Haul the majority of the time. Like, because again, we were talking about this earlier, right? Don't go heaven, play U-Haul. It's just so hard for them to do anything. As long as the spike is kind of planted here somewhere on this line, or here somewhere, like, either they stick or you're just screwed. You can also play the game where you kind of come around this way and they expect you to come the other way, right? What else? You're pushing short. So you put a TP like here.
Yeah.
Clear cubby, of course. But yeah, that's basically how you play it after attack, like as you're attacking, right? I'd say mainly stick to U-Hole. You can play shower. Shower can be really good, especially if your team's kind of planted for it. Any other questions?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't link into map stuff, but I think another thing I do is like ADS too much with Sheriff, because I don't know, I was kind of told that it's like kind of a bad thing to do. Well, when would you say you wouldn't ADS with the Sheriff?
I don't think it matters that much.
Yeah.
It's kind of preference, just probably not too close.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, you could even do it close if you want. It's literally, the problem is close. I'm seeing here is it's just zoomed, so you're not gonna be seeing as much. But like, if you're in a medium to long range fight, like, it's all preference. Like, you don't even need to use scope. You can use it. It's just preference. So if you like using this close as well, go for it.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, shall we swap maps?
Yeah.
Okay. Any overall questions so far? Is that helpful?
No, I'm quite happy with everything right now.
Okay. So this is my favorite. These are my favorite two maps. This is my favorite map.
You have good taste, my friend.
So is this a hard map for you too?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's significantly better than Bind though.
Are these your least favorite two maps?
No, I'd actually say I quite like Ascent.
Okay.
Our guests have arrived. Let's make a good first impression, shall we?
Okay. Let's talk about defending. Let's go A first. So what do we do?
So you see the double box, the brown one?
Here?
Yeah. I'll put a TP on top of that.
Start here.
Yeah, I'll put a TP on the brown box, and then I'll probably swing.
Oh, and so come back here. So you kind of do the same
Yeah.
thing that you do on B. So you
Yeah.
swing here. Okay. I feel like this TP spot is just kind of a little bit risky. Cause think about it, like you swing, you get a kill or you don't. You TP back here, they're pushing into you. They're gonna all be running through here. So maybe you get another one, but maybe you die. So maybe you go 1 for 1, or maybe you just die, right? So I'm gonna say where I think the best spots to TP back to are. I think peeking here is absolutely what you should do. Talking about limit testing, just talking about peeking in general. Just put a TP here. Wait,
That's
get
not
closer,
right.
and then come to the wall here if you can, or just kind of stand out in the open and just TP back. Best places, in my opinion, to TP back. Do you ever put any other TPs other than here?
Jen and Yeah, I'd say Gen, and other than that, I'd be TPing like maybe back to, I don't know, tree or something. There's like the two main TPs I do.
Tree, where tree?
Kind of up by the window.
Oh, over here,
Not,
garden.
yeah.
This is garden. This is tree.
Yeah.
I feel like people don't know that. I definitely didn't know that for a while. So TP here or dice can also be good. You can't go hell. It's kind of a trap, to be honest. You can also go heaven. This TP to heaven is a little bit better than bind TP, because think about it. The location on binds heaven is like much further away from like sight. So this is actually not that bad if you really want to go there for whatever reason. I would recommend here is probably the best spot. These two spots for sure. This is okay for like around cheese. Maybe even up there is okay for a little cheese. But this spot right here, if you can get a trip down on cat, this is where I put the trip. Pretty good. And then I love this spot. Like, this is one of my favorite spots to play. Also right here could be really good if you just kind of want to hold an angle. If you want to TP back.
Oh yeah, that's my spot.
But if you have a trip there, you don't have to worry about cat, or you have a teammate there, you don't have to worry about cat. This TP is so good because, like, even if you don't start main, like say you limit test early in the round, early in the game, and you just get one tap twice or something, you don't even need to TP back here. You can just play here, because like think about it, they're running up.
Here.
Maybe you kill one here. Maybe they hit the switch and they keep running. You kill one, and then you just start hiding. See if they're gonna peek you, and then once the door closes, reposition, come over here, spray the door down, and then do whatever you want. Like go back heaven, keep pushing out, push out with the TP. Right, does that make sense? Because like I really love this spot, honestly. Go for a kill here. TP.
Yeah, I think whenever I play that spot, I find the problem is like, well, not that spot specifically, but you know, anywhere in tree, I find like that I get smoked off, and I'm kind of like just indecisive whether I should just push, you know, like
Yeah, you gotta
try and...
you really gotta have like you gotta have confidence. You gotta be able to just kind of limit test, I guess, as well. Like just kind of figure out, because like if I see this, I'm seeing an opportunity here. So if you haven't used TP yet, you could put a TP inside of this even, and then the door's closing. You walk through while the door's closing, kill this person, come through, maybe kill another, and then the door's closed, so you're safe. But like just don't hold like this, because this is just gonna get you killed. Make sure you're kind of hiding off. Have some patience here. It's kind of like the same thing over here. Another little trick for you on this map. Instead of holding like this, hold like this. Right? Did we talk about this last time?
Yeah, kind of extend. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, like just hold here, and because like whenever people run out lane, they're not looking back like this, right? They're looking they're looking out towards sight. So you can just shoot them in the side of the head to get one or two. It's kind of the same thing on entry here. It's kind of just like the same idea. Kind of wait for them. Kill one. I think hitting the switch, this I think can be spammed with maybe not this gun. Maybe not. Wait. I'm confused. So weird. It's the one brick spray or something. I know it can be sprayed with an Odin, maybe an Ares, but yeah. So does that make sense? That's how I TP back. Like always start up here. I also really love playing. So if you don't want to peek, like you peeked and it doesn't work aggressive, you can play around like this. This is how I play on Duelist. I'll just play like really close right here. And of course, as Rennie, you can just dismiss back. But on Chamber, you have TP here somewhere. And then again, just TP back to one of those locations. Heaven, behind Dice, behind Gen, Garden, Tree, however you want. Make sure you use your trip. So do you typically play A on your on defense?
I'd say on defense, the trap I fall into a lot is playing off mid.
Why is that a trap?
I don't know. I'm kind of like not focusing on anything else, and then
You know, kind of too much.
Yeah, and then what I find most of the time is obviously I'm not holding like both at once, so I'll dinks in tiles by accident, like, you know, when I'm holding top mid.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of annoying. Yeah.
Okay. One more thing about A, because I know you said you peek aggressive a lot. Remember that holding angles is your best friend. So if it's not working aggressive, just like hold an angle like this, or even hold a more passive angle, like the angle from here, like I said, into there.
Yeah.
You have TP. So going mid is extremely underrated. You go mid a lot in attack or just on defense?
Nah. I'd say on attack, I definitely hold mid, but I don't push it.
Okay, interesting. So we'll definitely talk about that. So do you peek from here as well, mid?
I'd say the biggest thing I do is I put a TP, you know, like next to that plant pot.
Where?
To your right, entry.
Right here.
Yeah, right there. And then go back to market mid.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll do that, and then I get a pick top mid, then try and swing tiles, and then that's what I end up doing a lot of the time.
Okay, this is good. So why is mid a trap? Like, do you feel like you go mid and do you get kills, or do you feel like you die more than you get kills, or I feel like enemies don't come there?
Yeah, I kind of just feel like I'm just wasting value I could get, and I'm just kind of in the mindset that it'll work out eventually, but I think it doesn't sometimes.
Yeah, so definitely gotta catch yourself. Like, if something's not working, just swap it up. Like, swap it up quick, and see what's going to work, right? So if mid doesn't work, if cat doesn't work, that doesn't mean it can't work, but like go somewhere where you can have more impact. I like these TPs. This is really good. I think peeking from cat is super good. Like whenever your aim is just on, there's just free kills. I love this TP as well because we can start on either side. We can start here. We can come all the way up to. Ooh, this is kind of nice. We can hold here. We can even hold mid. Come back. So you can do that. You can also push and flank. I wouldn't recommend that a whole lot in chambers because you might have an op or you might not have your TPs in position. But that is an option. That you could push mid or push from cat and flank them like that. Where do you put trips on this map? Just everywhere. Tell me for each area.
Trips. I'd say I put them like in front of the main sides, kind of just slow down the push.
Like
and
those.
then yeah, and if I notice there's no one playing tree, sometimes I'll put them in tree.
Okay. So, okay, so this trip is gonna be better than this one because again, why?
Catch them sooner.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So this one's better. The one in B main, again, same thing. Again, these trips you're only gonna be able to do sometimes, but I just want you to be aware of them. This is gonna be better than here. But if you're not starting B, then, or if you're not planning on playing B, then don't wait for the barrier to drop to put this. Like, you don't have to. This trip is fine, but this one's just better. Same thing for cat, right? Like, if you're not planning on playing cat, then don't wait for the barrier to drop if you're not gonna play here. So, or you could have a TP, but I don't know if that's worth. What about mid? Do you ever trip mid?
No, because like I say, I play there a lot, but if I don't, yeah, I would trip mid.
Okay, so again, you don't actually have to be playing here to put the trip, because the barriers, you know. So this is the best trip for mid. Like, this is so good.
That's a good spot.
If you're not putting this, you should be putting it, because if I'm on the enemy team, then you're gonna get flanked. If there's a good duelist on the enemy team that's doing this, you're gonna get flanked. If you don't have teammates mid, you're gonna get flanked. So put this mainly if you feel like your team's got a good grasp of holding this area, but your mid might not be watched by someone. At least you have the information that there's someone there now if they walk up. But, you know, yeah. So, okay, shall we go to B?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we do this? Where do we start?
I'll put one like right in front of that pillar there, TP. And
TP,
then
right here?
yeah, and then you know back in CT.
Yeah.
The barrels, yeah, I'll put them there.
Okay, so
On top of the barrels.
There's a theme I'm noticing, actually, like, very frequently. Seems like all of your TPs back are always... So, like,
Elevated.
what do you say?
Elevated.
Yeah, they're always elevated, that's one thing, but also they're farther back. Like, they're a bit too far back for what I would like. And that's the thing that matters more, in my opinion. The fact that it's elevated is fine, but it's just like... Okay, you go for an aggressive kill. Like, again, think about it. Long... Actually, the B TP on bind was fine. But the one on A site, where you TP back to Evan, is too far. The one here... This is not too far, actually. It's just kind of, like, bad because you're just out in the open and you can't really go anywhere, right? So this is good, but... So say we get a... Even if we get a kill, best case scenario, we get a kill. Do you hold like this?
Yeah, I'll crouch down and I'll like kind of... What I think I like about that spot is that, you know, it's unexpected, I'll get a pick and I can kind of drop back down to safety.
Yeah, okay. I like it, but use it in moderation. Again, if I'm playing B and I hear like 3 people, I want my TP over here somewhere. Like, I think this is probably best, honestly. Just go back site. Maybe TP here. Stairs. Stairs would be really good too.
That's not ready.
I think I've started to realize that the pattern is like I'm kind of forcing myself to retake now with my TPs.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't want to
Yeah.
always be doing that. There are some scenarios, but that's not the default, especially earlier in the game. Like you don't want to assume your team wants to play retake, because your team's probably gonna suck at playing retake. Even in like Immortal and Radiant, people suck playing retake. So don't expect your teammates to be good at retaking. Try to hold down the site on your own, and if it's just not working, then swap it up or something. You know, ask teammates to come play with you. Then put your TP in. Like this is good, but use it in moderation. Because worst case scenario, you get one, you come back, you get another. Or best case scenario, you get one, you come back, you get another. But then like you fall, you jump off. Enemy's team runs out, they plant, and you know maybe it's 5v3, but maybe your teammates are dying. Maybe it's 3v3. So maybe your kills don't mean that much. What matters more is really getting like control of site and just kind of slowing them down, giving your team time to rotate. And this is just good. Like this is a good spot. That's one thing I noticed. Make sure you're not putting your TPs too far back. I do like that where you play up here though. Right? I like the radius to this TP kind of limits us.
That's not ready.
They can shoot that. Yeah. I guess
That's
we
not ready.
could just like
That's not ready.
yeah, we could just like put it out, but then I guess they could hear it. But mainly I'm thinking like if you put a TP here, then you can't really come like all the way over, which is fine, but it gives you less room to play with. But this is probably fine to be honest. So yeah, anything else here you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'd say kind of, you know, when you're kind of like playing backside,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like, you know, people are obviously pushing in. So where do you hold mainly? Like, should you focus stairs or should you just like? I don't know.
I wouldn't worry. I would always worry about
that?
lane. I would actually just wait, because again, what we're interested in doing here is just waiting, trying to stall time, trying to make their job to plant the spike as difficult as possible. So if we're just holding like this and then we instantly get one tapped, then we didn't stall for very long. I would wait until you hear them running up lane, and then try to kill one. If you hear them running stairs, then sure you can fight them. But I think I would try to play around like this. Even if you can even wait till they drop and then clear you and kill them, because a lot of time people will jump down and clear this without really expecting someone like fully. But also other spots, like there's some good spots here. You play here. You play here with the TP. So if you get naded or something, or droned or something, you can just get out. You play here. It's really good. Right. So do you ever play these two spots?
Logs and shed. I would say no. I don't play them.
I would definitely recommend these, because like it's the same thing. Again, if you're going to peek aggressive here and you're like, you know, one of your problems is peeking too aggressive and you're kind of just doing it mindlessly. This is the front line of defense, but these are kind of like the second lines of defense, and they might seem like really scary and aggressive and not really good spots. But this is not a really good. This is not really safe of a spot either, but it still works. So your TP allows you to do anything that you want. I'll do this even as Jet Arena, even though you don't have a TP to get out of somewhere super easily. Even though Jet Arena kind of still have that to some degree anyway. But up here, this is not bad. I like this spot. You can hold from here, or you can play like we said, like this. And if you play market, you can also kind of pivot between here and then go in like this.
I think another problem I have like is kind of, instead of like, you know how we just gonna, you know, when we're holding a site, when we're waiting for the bomb, we should play off enemies kind of intel of them moving in. I think instead I'll just kind of not like take cover until we hear them rushing in. I'll just kind of mindlessly, you know, hold the angle but with my body exposed. I think that's what I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have a TP, that's kind of fine, but if you're in a predictable spot, yeah, that can be bad. Like, you know, if you're just standing like right here, this is going to be kind of bad, because this is the first place they're going to be looking, so kind of think about that. Maybe you'll come like over here or something, you know. That's going to be less expected. Sometimes people won't even clear that. But yeah, like, you know, if you're defending, you don't need to take a fight here. We can just kind of wait. And if you hear them, then we kind of jiggle on them and kill them. But yeah, that's a good observation. Something you can work on slowly. Kind of make minor adjustments to your positioning and how you peek. Something you could work on in deathmatch a little bit too. I know it might kind of sound weird, but you can do that in deathmatch where like you hear someone, and then like you don't just like straight away peek them, but like you kind of peek at them, peek on them whenever you think would be the most advantageous time to peek on them.
Yeah.
Okay, so attacking A. How do we do it?
Attacking A, I'll probably again just place my TP, start of the round somewhere, kind of here, yeah. And my trip, I put it like kind of more at the back. Yeah, like right behind that rack. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll.
What was I gonna? Thinking like maybe trip here might be a little better, somewhere.
Okay.
Just because again it catches them a little bit sooner. I feel like if there's a trip here, what if they just swing by the time it activates and they kill someone?
Do you think like do you think trip should be more like kind of placed in a sooner cached area rather than a hidden spot?
Yeah, because like yeah, someone can shoot this, but at least your teammate's not gonna die. Cause like think about it, whenever there's a trip here, it's gonna take a sec to activate, so they can run until like here, and then they're slowed. So if there's like teammates here on your team, they're gonna be upset. Like, why didn't you trip, Chamber? You're like, I did, but the purpose of a trip is to let your team know before, not as it's happening. So
Yeah,
they swing and then they kill two, and then it's like, that sucks. So I usually see trip here somewhere. I don't really know. Like, I guess here would be fine. Wherever you want here, you find maybe the best spot. Because like the main thing is, what if they flank and then they just shoot this? Yeah, that sucks. But at least you know they're here, right? Okay. So here, how do we play this? We just kind of, do we go first a lot here?
No, I'm kind of in the mindset that I don't know. Like Jet or Reina, push it first.
Yeah, okay, that's good. So we're coming up. We take space. You know, wine's clear. How do we play this? What do you know?
I think I'd just play this for tree and try and flash people out of tree, and then I'd close the switch, but I'd like go in with the switch.
Where'd you put your TP? Would you put your TP down here or no?
Nah, I'll wait until I'm in tree.
Okay, good. This is good. Yeah. This is kind of different if you haven't noticed. Like, usually I feel like you probably would have put a TP down by now. Maybe not. Like on other areas, on different maps or on different sites. Like on Bind especially. I feel like your TPs are not... I feel like you're not this thoughtful about your TPs, so this is good. You come up, yeah, you're clearing stuff. Everything's clear. So what do you do here? You try to come in tree or you hit the switch first?
I hit the switch and come in tree.
Okay, this is good, but don't do this every time. Okay.
I think like a big thing with my TPs is that, you know, I've probably done this before and been rewarded for it. So like subconsciously I'm wanting to play here around this with my TPs more. I think that's like a huge factor of my TPs.
So what do you continue pushing as a garden?
No, I think I'd hold for the rotate.
Like
I mean,
right here?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, how far can our TP go? Okay, we definitely want to be playing up here. This is nuts. So again, don't always come under a door. This is really good. Do this pretty frequently, but don't do it always because it's kind of expected. But come up here. Like, even if the glass is not broken, if it is broken, that's great. But you can put a TP like this. They might hear that, but just come and kill them. It's free kills. Have someone here. And now look where you are. Like, you know, your trip. This is why this trip is bad, right? It could be boom, and then your dad is your TPing. But come up farther. Like, you don't even have to go up heaven. You can come this way. Oops. They do that.
You know, like kind of how on defense you're saying my TPs are too far back. Do you think there's a point on attack where your TPs could also be too far back?
No, I'm saying on attack your TPs are a little too far back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Defense, your TPs are a little too far back too. So I think that's just like a general thing you kind of struggle with. But I think just again trying to think like what variety can I add to my TPs, work at like my TP placements and whatnot, right? But again, trying to always be in the mindset of like what can I get away with my TP because it's so broken and because it's just like I can just get out of here with one button press and you can't, haha, right? Yeah. So like put a TP here. This comes up all the way to here. So like these are my two favorite spots to go is Jet and Reina. To you, does this seem risky? Like, this seems scary. No,
I'm kind of comfortable with that.
Yeah, like this, people don't expect this, right? You come up here, you wait without a TP even. This guy in their spawn is running with his knife out like this, not even looking, right? He's not even staring at you. If I'm looking here, I'm gonna be clearing this because I am expecting it, and high rank players will clear this. But people just run like this. The amount of times that I've been right here waiting for someone and they don't look at me and their knife is out is just crazy. So I would highly recommend trying this out, but also going heaven if you want, because this TP is good for either. So those are really good. So do you ever play? You always go under door, or do you do other things here?
Yeah, I'd say like obviously with chamber, I'm gonna try and buy an op as soon as possible and utilize it. But I think the big problem with buying ops, I think I'm quite efficient with it on attack, on defense, but on attack, I just don't know how I should be using that op to help the team.
Okay.
Except for mid.
Well, you don't really have to buy an op, but you're gonna have your ult. So, if you're opping and you're not super comfortable with it on attack, I would suggest not pushing up too far and just get good at holding angles. So if the spike's blended for you here and you're a monster with this op, that's great because you can just hold heaven or you can hold here and you have flank trip, so you don't have to worry about it. But just hold and don't miss your shot, right? Like, I know. So like we're probably talking about here, like how do we op before we have control of sight? Because of course it's a little easier to op once you have control of sight and you have the spike down because you're just defending at that point, which is basically the same as defense anyway. So this is also a good point because like whenever you retake on defense, that's kind of like attacking. So opping there as well is going to be kind of harder. So before you take a site, just kind of like pick your area to start. And for example, like this, just hold an angle, right? Just hold it.
Yeah.
So you can do that. You can peek from here. Take a fight. The main thing is just being patient. Make sure your team's on the same page with you. If your team's like, yo, let's push B fast, like, and you have your op, you're gonna ult. Make sure, just tell them like, nah, wait, can you guys give me like 20 seconds to look for a kill? And you get that one kill, it makes the round significantly easier. It's not on defense where you can just kind of like wait and expect your team to wait because a lot of the time that's just not gonna happen. But you also can't really be going forward as hard, especially if you don't trust in your aim as much, or if you feel like, you're not gonna be as good with the op close range. But for example, you can go for an aggressive peek here if you want. It's kind of risky.
Yeah,
but
I have op that's always what I'll do. I'll definitely look for that.
But it is harder. It's just naturally harder. So it becomes easier once you get the spike down. So if you can get that first kill because someone greedy on the enemy team is going for a peek for whatever reason, you can take advantage of that. I would highly recommend mid and tiles right here.
Yeah.
Because people love to peek this. If you're going to get peeked by an op, be careful. But up here is good. This is pretty solid if you think someone might peek mid. If no one's peeking for a little bit, you can kind of slowly inch out. But don't go too far up. Like, don't come all the way up here without a teammate or without a drone or something. You'll see high ranked chambers like just go nuts with the op, even like going super far forward like this. But make sure you are cautious and you have a teammate with you at least. So, but yeah, here on A site. Other than that, play Gen, play here and here. These are good spots. If we're just talking about without an op, I love playing right here. This is really good. Gen's obviously really hard to go wrong with. Hell is like okay, like it's good if you have a lot of teammates alive and your team's just kind of like stacked. You can kind of just choose to play Hell because there's really nowhere else to go. If it's not as many people left, this is probably one of the best spots. Going under here is really good, but again in moderation. Let's talk about mid. Okay, so you said you just go here for kills, so you'll go like here and then tiles for kills or what?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so this is fine, this is good, but so my go-to is not to necessarily look for fights here, because like that's kind of conditional. If someone does peek here, that's great, I will fight them, but then I don't want to just be waiting here as a duelist. So you're not really a duelist, but I mean you kind of are. So what I would do is be like, if I'm talking about going up cat here, and then we'll go to the other half of mid, I would be asking my team like, yo, can you guys go A main? I'm gonna come up cat. You might even ask for someone to come with you. Then I would just shift walk up cat, placing my crosshair between these two things. Make sure you always look here whenever you come up, because someone could be pushed up B main unless you have a trip there. But I'll be looking back and forth between these two, and then kind of slowly just jiggle, walk up. Just have confidence. Like I do this play all the time. It's just ingrained in my mind exactly how I need to peek, and it's just easy. And then at this point, you also might think someone's playing cat, and honestly, they're probably not, because I don't know why. There might even be a trip here. And then you're up here, and they're still not expecting you, and if you still don't see anyone here, you can walk through. But again, I would recommend coming through here maybe, because again, if you can get behind them, and maybe the glass is broken, maybe it's not, you can even go all the way around. Just tell your team like, yo, I have a good flank, don't go in yet, wait. And then you're walking through, and you see one, you see two, something like that. It's just a free sight. So do that. If you feel like you need a drone from a Sova or a dog from Sky, ask someone to come with you on cat, even if it's not one of those two agents. So do that. That's really, really good. Again, don't forget about the TP. I didn't talk about that, but you know, don't forget about the TP. You can go for a kill. That's fine. Here, again, going out mid is also really good. So, peek here. You might, again, tell your team what you want to do. You can just do this for a kill. So, you know, you're looking cat. Again, I don't want to just sit here and wait the whole round because I'm on attack for a reason. We're not defending. We're not just holding an angle. You can hold an angle for like 10 seconds or so. But after that, kind of like just kind of slowly interrupt. You kind of got to clear both of these angles close. But walk up. I like to walk up on the left. Again, this trip is annoying, right? If there's no trip here that you don't put, there's no enemy trip here, then you're good. So keep walking up. And again, this is an area where a lot of people actually don't play. There might be someone here. If there is someone here, just take a fight on them, get the kill, get out, go rotate, go to a different site. Like, yeah, I gotta kill mid. Let's go back. Let's run B or let's run A. You know, one of those things.
Yeah.
Clear all this out, and then from here, we're just kind of in the same spot, in a similar spot as we were up here, right? We kind of choose to go spawn, flank them, come through market, ask our team to rotate B, have a good flank, have a good flank. You find one of them here, they'll make noise, you kill one, and then you can just kind of like do whatever you want. So this is two ways that this map can become significantly easier for you if you actually try to do these things consistently and get better at them. But yeah, so any questions yet about this?
Nah, I'm quite happy.
Okay. Sorry if I'm throwing like a lot of information at you, but here look back at the stream as well.
Yeah, that's great.
You want to talk about B? Last but not least.
Yeah, we can talk B, yeah.
You don't have to. You don't want to.
No, I would say on B. Again, I just throw a TP right here. I think that's quite bad because obviously if someone's picking up from that, I don't know if you can wait for that.
Yeah. I think that, again, this is just kind of like, it just kind of limits you. Like, you can still put a TP pretty far forward, but what if you want to peek spawn? You want to put one right here, you know?
Yeah.
Do we really, are we really going to use the TP right here? Probably not. Like, where's your second TP go?
Second TP, I'd say I'd just use it to, yeah, I'd probably just hold. I'll probably stay here for the rest of,
like this?
Yeah, and try and hold.
This is fine, but really we want our duelists to go first so we can use our TPs a little deeper. Like, this is where I want my first TP to go, ideally. If your team's not very good and you can't get in, then you can use these TPs. But again, try to get farther forward. Try to get as far forward as you can with chamber. That's what you want to do. Because then, like, it's great, but if you don't get a kill before you TP, then, like, you're back at square one. So you can get up here, your duelists are running in, and, you know, it's looking good. Then you can just run in. You can run with my knife. You can put a TP wherever you want now, because you see this is just much better. You can even go here if you want.
Yeah, definitely.
So whenever we get into B, where do we go?
Again, to B, I'd say, I think I'd say kind of around 3 blocks. Yeah, something like that around the spike.
Okay.
I usually just like kind of like ask someone to hold my stairs, and then I'll hold catwalk.
Okay, this is good. This is probably the single best spot to play here. But if your team does have numbers advantage, you don't want to have like 4 people sitting back here, right? Because why? Because you want to have, you're gonna have control of more space, because that's gonna give you, that's gonna stall more time out of the enemies, and it's gonna give you a better chance to win the round. So my favorite spots that are farther forward, and again, you could play these farther forward spots because you're chamber, because you're an agent that can do that and get away with it. Again, you can put a TP accordingly. So my favorite spots would be here, and here, around here. These are my 2 favorite spots. Also here, like right here, this is really dirty. You have to just be careful. Make sure this is like smoked, or make sure that you're kind of just aware of that. If the door's closed, say the door's closed, then we could just hold like this, as long as the flank is stripped. But if the door's not closed, this is a bit more dangerous. You might just opt to go here. This is kind of expected, but honestly, a lot of people will not expect it. And again, if this is allowed, you can kind of just walk through like this, if the door's not closed. And you can catch someone rotating through mid with their knife out again, or you can just catch someone here. But don't go too far, because you want to be around the spike to defend it. And you can put a TP wherever you want. And again, see how far this reaches. TP goes this like super far, because it's a little farther forward. Again, if you can't get that, if your team can't come in and you can't get side control, then put both those back TPs, because you want to at least have a chance to use the TPs for sure. You can peek spawn. Be cautious when you peek spawn. Here's actually a good spot as well.
Yep.
Not super good, but it's okay. Best spot is definitely backside. So, yeah. Okay. Any final questions or thoughts or anything?
I'd say I'm quite happy with it all. It's been a good session.
Okay, good. You know, always just send me a DM. If you want to have another session, we can have like a fat price reduction if you want.
Yeah, yeah.
So just let me know, like whatever you want to learn
Appreciate
next. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, the stream it'll be up it'll be up right now, so you can go back whenever you want. But yeah, thanks for the session.
Thank you, man.
Okay, you have a good day.
Have a good night.
Bye bye. All right, thank you guys for watching. Whoever is watching, appreciate you guys, and bye bye.